regulation.
And as wildfires continue to pop up throughout California, there is concern over the use of drones and the ability of firefighters to do their jobs with these small aircraft up in the air.
The Federal Aviation Administration is set to release some new guidelines about how drones can be flown. And here with us tonight from the FAA safety team is Jeff Riolo. You brought some different types of drones, but let's first talk about some of the changes that are set to take place regarding the regulations.
Sure. I don't know if our viewers are aware, but the FAA, the Federal Administrative Administration, has been working on creating rules to allow the integration of drones in the national airspace. Because up to this point, the only way you could fly commercially is to have an exception or a waiver to the rules, and that's called a Section 333. There's only about 5,500 of them in the nation. We've got a couple dozen here in San Diego. But now with the new rule on August 29th, it's going to lower the standard and open the door for a lot more people to enter into the field of commercial drone operation.
Basically, it sets age limitations and that sort of thing, and the distance you can fly these things. Is that right?
Right. There's operational procedures. You shouldn't fly over 500 feet above the ground. You shouldn't fly over people. You need to be at least 16 years of age, speak English, pass an aeronautical test, or you need to be an already man-certified pilot, one or the other.
All right, you brought a couple of different types of drones. Could you just kind of give us a show and tell? What do you have here?
This is a DJI Phantom 3, and this is really the drone that kind of started the big fuss, because the flight enhancement technology with this makes it very easy to fly, that you can take it out of the box and anybody within a half a day can be pretty skilled at this. So it really opened the door for recreational flyers, even if they didn't have any aeronautical or flight experience.
Now, what are the rules now according to the FAA when it comes to flying in the vicinity of wildfires? I know the firefighters just hate to see these things up in the air because they're dropping water from choppers, and they get in the way. They may get in the propellers, what have you. And so it's a real dangerous situation for them.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I don't think we had a single incident with the Spring Valley fire yesterday, or I haven't heard of any incidents of drones flying to interfere with our first responders up in the San Bernardino fire. But as you guys know, that's been a huge problem. I don't know what it is with people, but they have a curiosity to want to get their drone out and fly in a hazardous situation. Well, anytime our first responders are up in the air, there's going to be a temporary flight restriction, and that grounds all unmanned or drones or UAS or UAV, whatever you want to call it.
People have HD cameras on these things, so they're obviously feeding back video to various sources.
Correct.
A lot of times.
Right. So it can be a help, and with media and first responders integrating drones, it's even more of a reason for the recreational flyers to stay out of the air.
Now, the other drone that you have, this is a commercial type?
This is actually the controller for this particular drone.
Oh, that is the control.
Right.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, remote control. There's an aircraft, and then there's a communication link. And then they also carry a sensor package, and as you mentioned, this has a 4K high resolution, 60 frames per second camera. So, and it can live stream video.
But help me clear this up. This is an amateur drone, and then there are professional drones. Now, how close can either one of them get to a wildfire? What are the current regulations and the rules right now?
The rules are that you should stay out of the air if there's a wildfire, and then your drone application, it's going to have a program that tells you where that temporary restraining order is. So you have firsthand information of how far to stay the distance, and that's really up to the battalion chief or the operating commander to set that radius of what's a safe radius. But in general, 5 miles, because we can translate, we should stay 5 miles away from an airport. We should stay 5 miles away from a fire. I don't know if you're aware, but in San Diego, we have a FAA flight safety team that's doing seminars to help educate the public. We just did one at the University of Phoenix, and it was geared towards firefighters and wildfires. But of course, all of our firefighters were called out yesterday into the field. But we ended up having 60 to 80 airmen that showed up to learn the rules so they could follow it, and hopefully we're making some progress with that.
Well, as technology changes, the rules have to change as well.
Right.
Great to see you. Thank you so much for your tips today, Jeff Riolo. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot.